Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to see you here tonight on this hot and dusty night tonight. Thank you for coming out. We've got a lot of folks to answer your questions, particularly Chief Watley over there. He's excited about being here tonight. You can tell just by looking at him, can't you? Well, let's open up tonight with a prayer, if you don't mind. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening to praise your name. To thank you for all the benefits and blessings that you give us, and we so many times take them for granted. Thank you, Lord, for this city, for those who serve in this city, and that we can have a night like tonight where we can sit and talk, find out what's going on, and exercise our right to free speech, talk about what we need to talk about. So, Lord, I'm asking your blessing tonight on all those that are here, on our city as well. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Legends never die. Their body may leave this earth, but the example lives on forever. The inspiration lives on forever. The spirit lives on forever. The legacy lives on forever.
We should mourn the loss of the greats, but more than mourn, we should appreciate that we got to experience their presence here on earth. We should appreciate we got the opportunity to learn from their example and apply it in our own lives.
That's what they would want. They would want their legacy to live on through the next generation. Their example of excellence, their example of discipline, their example of integrity, their example of self-respect, their example of lifting others up, the example of always striving to become their best self. It is now our responsibility to pass on those qualities. It is our responsibility to inspire those around us through our own example.
After we lose loved ones, it's easy to think nothing matters. We're all going to die, and some far too soon. But that's exactly why everything matters. Every moment. Every choice you make is a part of the legacy you will leave behind. Every choice you make affects those you love. Who you are and how you show up every day will impact everyone you love in some way. The work you put in, the standards you set, that is passed on to the next generation. Will you inspire those you love to live their best life? That is why millions mourn the loss of the greats. They impact millions. Millions they never knew because of their example, because they showed up every day, no matter what. They stepped up to the plate and gave their heart and soul. They backed the talk up with work, not any old work, not your everyday work. They outwork everyone, and that work leads to results. They don't stop, they don't settle, and they never have arrived. They are always seeking the next mountain peak.
Legends never die because their heart lives on in everyone they touched. Their heart and soul lives on through their example.
Good evening. So we are celebrating 80 years this year, and we're really excited about it. I want to thank y'all for coming out. I know we've got a light crowd here tonight, but as Ricky and I were just talking about a little bit ago, people show up when they're mad. So the fact that we've got a light crowd tells me that we're doing something right. We must not be doing that bad of a job, right? So I appreciate y'all coming out. Your feedback tonight is important for us. I do know that we have some that are online watching us as well, so we're definitely excited to be able to share with you what's going on here. But 80 years here in the city of Everman is pretty incredible. Although it sounds like a lot, we're still in the infant stages of a city. 80 years is really not that long of a time. And we're still working on growing and trying to catch up and doing what needs to be done. And we're excited about the future. We're excited to see what the future holds, and looking forward to getting there with all of you here tonight. So I'm going to take just a minute. I'm going to go around the room and introduce all of our staff that we have here. So we do this every year. This is our 4th year doing this. And the whole purpose of tonight is to really engage with you all as citizens on our budget process. Tonight's really about being able to have conversations and engage one-on-one. A lot of times we get citizens that may show up to city council meetings and they don't have the opportunity to really engage in a meaningful conversation because there's a lot of rules. Rules like if it's not on the agenda, we can't discuss it. You've only got 3 minutes to talk about it. So tonight is kind of like we're going to eliminate the rules. So with that said, let me tell you about the rules we have for tonight. And those rules is I'm going to give you kind of a 30,000-foot view from up here. Rather than entertaining questions up here one by one on various topics, because typically most people care about different things, we've brought all the staff in here to work with you one-on-one. So we've got all of our staff around the rooms here that are here for you to hear about your concerns. You can go to those tables, and we'll be here all night if we have to be, to make sure that we hear you out and get your input and feedback and take that back with us as we start to work with our city council on the budget. Speaking of city council, let me go ahead and recognize, because we've got a few of them here tonight. I want to recognize City Council Place 1, Miss Linda Sanders. City Council Place 2, Miss Carolyn Renfro. And City Council Place 3, Miss Johnny Mae Allen. If you'd join me in giving them a round of applause. Appreciate y'all being here, and they love hearing the feedback as well as we go into this work session, so thank you. Starting over here on my right, I want to introduce our police chief, Al Brooks. If you're not aware, I did used to serve as the police chief, but here about, a month ago? It's been a couple months, 2 months. Gosh, time is going by already. 2 months ago, it was time for me to focus on some other opportunities that had come up, and I couldn't think of a better replacement than Chief Brooks. He's been able to step up alongside me and done a lot for our police department. I'm very excited to have him there. And his right hand is also here, and that is Assistant Chief James Thompson. So thank y'all for being here with our police department. I know that's going to be our busy table because that's where our code officer is sitting, and that's normally where everybody likes to go. So I do want to introduce to you Ryan Torres. Ryan Torres is on like week 3.5 of being our code enforcement officer. So he is in overdrive right now, working very hard on trying to address all of the complaints and concerns that many of our citizens have shared about code compliance in the city. He's doing a phenomenal job. So please, he's here to listen to you. If you've got complaints to share, he's absolutely here for you. Back here in the back, we've got our Director of Human Resources, Ms. Jennifer Nateros. And then next to her is our Municipal Animal Services Manager, Ray Renchler. So thank y'all for being here. Back at our city administration table, we've got our Assistant City Manager and our Finance Director, Ms. Susan Helgeson, our City Secretary, Ms. Mindy Parks, and then my right hand, Executive Assistant, Rachel Russell. So thank y'all. At Public Works, we've got our Parks and Streets, I always mess this one up, Parks and Streets Superintendent, the guy over the streets. If you got a street complaint, that's where you want to go, in the green shirt. So Rudy, thank you all very much for being here. And then we have Miss Evelyn Romero, who's our Public Works Administrative Assistant. And then DJing for us over here behind the console is our Director of Public Works, Gilbert Ramirez. So thank y'all for being here. And then at the Water Department table, we have our Director of Customer Service and Court Administrator, Miss Edna Martinez. Thank you for being here. And then our Fire Chief and Fire Marshal also oversees our permitting department is Chief Landon Watley. He is a little exhausted right now. If you're not aware, we've got a really big event coming up in a day and a half, and he has been rolling really hard on that, in addition to still serving as a fire chief. And I think you just got back from fighting a fire, didn't you? A brush fire? Yeah. And it's really hot outside. So as you can imagine, all of that is pretty exhausting on oh, yeah, your C4 energy drink right there with you. So that's great. So thank y'all for all being here. I appreciate it. And as far as myself, I'm Craig Spencer. I'm the city manager. I have the pleasure of serving as the city manager. If you would have asked me, 7 or 8 years ago, if I was going to be a city manager, I'd have told you you're out of your mind. I quite honestly, just stumbled into it by accident, not sure that this is even really what I wanted to do. And I was very open with that, with our council and our mayor. I wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to try it and see how it went. And I fell in love with it, quite frankly. I didn't think I would. I thought I was going to hate it. My background is in public safety, and I didn't think being behind a desk and doing financial stuff, because let me tell you, I went to college for 8 years, and accounting was not my topic. Thank God for Susan in the back. I would have thought you were crazy, but I've actually really enjoyed the unique challenges that city management brings in trying to solve problems, because that's really a lot of what it's about, is solving problems and finding unique ways and creative ways to solve those issues, particularly here in Everman. So as we talk about what matters to you, I'm going to give you about the 30,000 foot view, like I explained, and then if you have a specific concern that you want to talk about, whether that's animal services, you're worried about our animal services status, our shelter, you can go to that table back there. If you're worried about crime and public safety, we've got the experts over here. We want to have that meaningful conversation with each one of you, rather than everybody sit in a room and we take questions one by one all night and you have to sit through 10 topics of something that may not matter so much to you but may matter to somebody else. We just try to be as thoughtful as we can in addressing your actual concerns. One thing that I think we can all agree on that is a concern is property taxes, and that's been a goal, a priority from the council for the last 5 years, and I'm on my 5th year now. I just started my 5th year as a city manager. That's been a priority of our council since I came on board. As a matter of fact, they pretty much gave me a pretty clear directive. If you're not aware, the city of Everman has had the highest property tax rate in all of Tarrant County for a long period of time. We were well above $1.30 an hour. $1.30 per 100 valuation. It's an extremely high tax rate, considering that was 5 years ago at that. So we've worked really hard over the last several years, and their directive was within 5 years to get us below $1. And I'm very confident that we're going to achieve that this year, thanks to the hard work of all of our directors, our staff, the developments that have been able to come in, the support that we've received. So I'm really excited about this next year as far as our tax rate goes, and optimistic that we can provide a good result for our council, and they don't fire me in the 5 years that I've been here. So I am excited to share that with all of you. But in trying to do that, what we've had to try to figure out is how do we dramatically reduce our total tax rate while also improving what has been described as deficiencies in service. How do we improve the service that we provide and reduce the revenue that's coming in? I know we've got a couple of business people in here, but for you business folks, that's a hard thing to tackle. How do you reduce your revenues but improve your services? And that's what we've had to try to figure out. And so we've had to do a lot of real good self-reflection. And one of the things that I talk about each year is how when I first came in, we have determined that we were kind of on our own little island. We weren't networking as well with the groups that we should be networking with. And so we worked really hard over the last few years, several years, to really build up our networks and our relationships with our partners and those around us. Building those relationships have opened up numerous doors for us that have allowed us to be successful. Things like grant opportunities, partnerships, funding opportunities, regionalization, which is one thing that I'm going to talk a little bit about that's been a key factor in reducing some of our expenses and improving services. A lot of different opportunities for us have come up. So it's really allowed us to grow and fix those issues without increasing the total tax rate to our citizens. We took a big approach to regionalization on several different fronts. The first front that we took off with was our communications center. For those of y'all that are not aware, the 911 center here in Everman is actually a regional 911 center that provides services to 9 different fire departments primarily, supports 15 mutual aid fire departments, 3 police departments, and covers all 212 square miles of Tarrant County. So we have a very large dispatch center that actually services more agencies than any other dispatch center in the county. And I'm very thankful for our dispatchers and the team that we have over there for the phenomenal job that they do, because if you have never stepped foot into a dispatch center or had the opportunity to work at a dispatch center, you would not truly understand just how difficult of a job it is to be able to listen. I don't know if you've ever had headphones in and had music or a book going in your headphones and then had somebody else talking to you at the same time and you could understand both conversations going on at the same time. That's exactly what a dispatcher has to do. And be responsible for the safety of all those that they're in charge of. So they do a phenomenal job. We have some of the most amazing dispatchers in our system. What this has allowed us to do is actually reduce our overall expenditures, contributions from Everman into the dispatch center. while increasing the number of dispatchers that we have, increasing our software capabilities, increasing their training, everything across the board. So it's been a great increase in service while actually reducing how much the city of Everman is having to contribute to that by bringing all these partners in and contributing to it. The next step we took was actually with Municipal Animal Services. Our first partnership took off a few years ago with the city of Forest Hill, and now Municipal Animal Services, we are the host agency for Municipal Animal Services, but it services both the city of Everman and the city of Forest Hill equally. Ray is our animal services manager back there, and he does a phenomenal job of making sure that he is tending to both cities' needs all the time. And with that partnership, we've been able to increase our animal control staffing from having 2 animal control officers to 4, which means the workload is a little bit easier to manage. They're able to take some days off, which is a change. They're not used to being able to take days off, always having to be on call, and rotate that around. They do also have 2 registered volunteers. Yes, that's right, 2. That's all. They need more. They truly need a lot of help. And with this effort, they've been able to, and really, I shouldn't say because of the regionalization. I should say it's because of people like Ray. Ray's been a phenomenal asset to the city of Everman with his experience and background, and bringing in good quality animal control officers underneath him and providing adequate training and resources to our staff. We've been able to increase our overall live release rate and improve our public involvement altogether, and then increase the quality of life for animals and truly humans as well in our community. We have seen a dramatic reduction in animal control complaints coming into both cities because of the efforts made by Ray and his team. So I'm very thankful for them. This has taken a kind of the center stage as we're looking to move forward because it is still a need. We have some growth needs here within animal services. One of the things that we're trying to achieve right now is that we really need to build a new animal shelter. This has been a priority by council. They've shared that this is a priority, and this is something that we're working on, is trying to figure out how we can fund this and make this move forward. So we've been working on this pretty closely. I anticipate, hopefully in the next few months, to be able to announce maybe some new potential partnerships to move this thing forward. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting really close, and if we can make these partnerships a reality, then I think we'll be able to get up off the ground with this project and move this forward. And that's truly what our animal services needs altogether. If you're not aware, you didn't see the big blue trailer when you walked in. One of the recent accomplishments that we had was the city council this last budget year allocated an amount of money to buy a mobile adoption trailer. Having a mobile adoption trailer allows, if you're not familiar with our animal shelter, it's kind of off the beaten path. If you don't know it's there, then you're not going to see it. I mean, it's behind some residences, it's out in the woods, it's in a horrible, horrible spot. So they don't get a whole lot of people just knocking on their door asking if they have any animals. The way the building is constructed, it's not very inviting for people to just randomly come in and take a look to see what they've got. So we had to try to get creative. How do we get the public to be engaged in getting these animals out? Because the reality of it is they have to go pick up the strays that are out in the community. It's a health and safety issue. They have to bring these strays in. Well, what happens if they bring all these strays in and they don't get adopted? We all know the answer to that, right? And that's what they don't like to do that. They don't want to do that. That's the last resort. So we've got to find ways to get them out. And this was one of the ways that they've worked over the last couple months. We got this trailer. It finally came in about 2 months ago, I believe. And they have been working the tail out of that trailer every weekend out in different locations all throughout the county working on adoptions. And so one of Ray's goals that he was telling me earlier is that he wanted his adoption rate to match the rescue rate, because we get rescue groups that will come in and pull from our shelter. He wanted to get our adoption rate up to match our rescue rate. And he said, thanks to this trailer, thanks to the investment that council approved this last year, they've been able to achieve that now. And so they are doing adoptions out of that trailer all the time. If you want to see it in action, Saturday at Celebrate America, they're going to be out here as well. It's a great opportunity to come by and see what animals they've got that need a good home. So it's been great. One of the keys to this operation, though, is that it's really reliant upon volunteers. And that's where we have kind of a gap right now within our animal services, is we need more volunteers. Our staff takes care of driving the trailer, setting it up, getting everything taken care of, but we always are looking for people that can step up and help to run these adoption events to help save animals' lives. Even if it's just a couple hours a week to come by and help, a couple hours a month, whatever it may be, one time a year, we want you to sign up to volunteer and be with us. So we'll have this up. If you want to volunteer, you can go to our city website. There's a volunteer application form. You do have to complete a background check and sign a couple of waivers, but our staff will provide you with all the training you need. They're here to support you, but we definitely need volunteers within our Animal Services Department. One of the next regionalization projects we did was with the Forest Hill Public Library District. So we had a deficit within our budget previously, and as far as the library is concerned, and we had to try to figure out a way to solve that deficit. So we took a regional approach to it. How do we improve services while reducing the financial burden on our citizens? So we partnered with the Forest Hill Public Library District. And if you have not been to the Forest Hill Public Library, you have got to go by there. The city of Everman contributes funds to the library to be able to cover your cost for a library card membership at the library district. So it doesn't cost you anything, but the services that they have there are absolutely amazing, and the programming they have there is amazing. Everything from dance classes to cooking classes to computer classes, educational opportunities, as well as a tremendous amount of resources there. It's the summer reading program is going on right now for our youth, so it's a great opportunity to get by there and see what they've got. We contribute $20,000 a year to the library to be able to subsidize and cover costs for any Everman resident to be able to go and get their library card. It's increased our resources programs, events, activities, and more, and it's reduced our overall expenditures within the city of Everman. And it allowed us to really reallocate some staff in some much needed areas as it relates to accounting, records, and permitting. So that's been very helpful. Then I want to talk about this one. We're currently in the works of trying to get this one off the ground, and I'm excited about this one. Senior citizens. This has been a topic for many years about how we've got a lack of service to our senior citizens. What can we do better? We now have a senior citizens board, and I know we've got at least 3 members here. Am I missing anybody? Is anybody else? 4? Who's the 4th? Okay, Johnny, 3, 4. We've got some members here. We've got some members here of our Senior Citizen Advisory Board, and they've done a phenomenal job. They just hosted a meet and greet a couple weeks ago to really get some feedback from the seniors on what is it that our seniors would like to see here in the community, what is it that they need, and I think they're taking that feedback right now and reviewing it. In addition to that, one thing that we're exploring is a partnership with the Senior Center that is in the city of Forest Hill that's run by Meals on Wheels. We're looking at that partnership for this next year for us to be able to partner with them and allow that center to be used by our residents, our seniors here within the community. So they have a space to go to Monday through Friday from, I think, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. they're open with activities and things all day long and resources available there as well. So we're really excited about this potential partnership and hope that we can get this put into the budget. I think council is overwhelmingly supportive of this, and the cost really is pretty low comparatively. So we're excited about this opportunity to be able to put this in on top of what the Senior Citizens Board is looking to do here locally to drive support and do some local events too. So this will be great. Want to highlight some of our achievements. Currently we have the lowest, that should say 15 years now, I forgot to update the number, but we have the current lowest total tax rate in over 15 years. We are currently experiencing the fastest economic growth in our history, and that's been a trend that we've experienced now for the 3rd year in a row. So we're really thankful for that and praying so hard that it continues as we move into the future. Transparent government's been a big push. Things like being able to live stream our city council meetings online, making them available for people who can't always be in attendance, publishing things online. I'll talk a little bit about our new website here in just a little while, but transparent government was a big one. Recognition for regional excellence. So all of our regionalization projects actually earned the city of Everman some recognition for excellence by the North Central Texas Council of Governments, which has been a great achievement for our city. Public space and event enhancements for families and youth, and then an improved local economy. If you're not aware, Tarrant County is the 15th most populous county in the country and the 3rd most populous in the state of Texas. We are one of the fastest growing areas in the country right now. The population of Fort Worth expected to surpass the population of Austin within the next few years. So we are growing. Southern Tarrant County is a large hub of that growth, if you haven't noticed. All of the commercial buildings and residential subdivisions going in is definitely a key here. So we've had to try to adapt to a lot of this growth. So let me run through and talk about some of the recent developments and projects that we've been working on. One of the key focuses here recently, if you haven't noticed, we've done a lot of work in the last several years at Pittman Park. And now we're kind of shifting our focus over to Johnson Park. Johnson Park is a hub for us as far as sports goes. That's where our baseball association plays. So we have a lot of kids on the weekends that utilize that park. We're also seeing more traffic through that park as we see growth of homes on that side. Its walkability is convenient for those new homes that are being constructed on the south side. So our staff this past year has gone over there and repaired and done everything they could to all of the existing facilities. And one of the things that we're looking at for potentially this next budget year projects going forward is what other enhancements can we make in that park to make that park hopefully as nice as we've been able to make Pittman Park. So that's one of the things that we're working on right now. Then I want to talk to you about the Everman Safe Streets project. So this project is now in engineering phase. We got approved for funding a little less than a year ago. Funding has been allocated through a federal grant program. This is a partnership program with the city of Fort Worth that will provide a network of sidewalks between all of our schools. So from Pittman Park all the way down to the Everman High School, and then from Oak Grove Road where Dan Powell is, all the way down to Baxter Junior High on Shelby. It's also going to create a loop around near the high school to get our kids off the streets. Because if you haven't noticed, if you drive early in the mornings or in the afternoons when school is either getting ready to start or just let out, our kids have nowhere to walk. They are on the street. And so this is a great grant. Overall, $9.4 million investment from the feds that is going to fund this project for us to implement this network. It's an engineering phase right now, and the North Central Texas Council of Governments, originally we were supposed to contribute a match portion to this project, and since then the North Central Texas Council of Governments has actually approved additional funding to be able to cover our match. So this is coming to us at completely no cost. So it's a great project for us, and we're really thankful for all of our partners at the City of Fort Worth and North Central Texas Council of Governments for making this a reality. Another project that's currently underway, it doesn't look like it's underway, but I promise you it's underway, is Wichita Street. If you've driven up Wichita Street lately, you're probably seeing a lot of electrical workers and utility workers on the side. That's the first phase of this project. It's underway. I promise you they are working on fixing that street. I also want to highlight that the majority of that street is not ours, even though we get blamed for it all the time. But that street is currently underway. They're currently doing the utility moves now. Once the utility move is complete, then they will begin the road construction part. And if you think it's ugly now, just wait until the road construction part does. But improvement is always messy, always. And this road is going to be widened to 4 and 5 lanes from just south of Roy C. Brooks all the way to the interstate with some signalization improvements as well. So we're really excited about that. Forest Hill Drive is also in engineering phase. What we didn't want to do is we didn't want to make Wichita a mess and then simultaneously make Forest Hill a mess. So Forest Hill is kind of taking a little bit of a back seat right now until we can get Wichita taken care of, and then Forest Hill Drive will become the next project. And that road is also going to be widened to 4 and 5 lanes from Shelby Road all the way into Forest Hill, where it currently is 4 lanes, with an addition of several traffic lights along the way that are all synced together. So when you get a green at Shelby, you should keep a green all the way to the interstate, is the goal. In addition to improving the road, one of the things that COG wanted to work on with us that they were very adamant about, and if you're not familiar with Michael Morris, he's the executive director up there that's overseeing this project. He's been very adamant about, we don't want to come through a flood area and improve a street and not address the flooding issue. So they have approved additional funding in the amount of, I'm going to show you, hold on, $13.2 million to address the bridge issues and flooding issues that we have along Forest Hill Drive. That will dramatically improve our flooding in that region. So we are very excited about that, very thankful to the Regional Transportation Council and the North Central Texas Council of Governments for their partnership and work on this. This project is fully funded through federal grant dollars. City of Everman, again, is not having to contribute anything, thanks to Michael Morris and his team at the COG. So we're really thankful for that project. Next, Race Street has now been completely rebuilt. I don't want to hear anything about the lines tonight. We fixed it since our last meeting. But Race Street has been completely rebuilt from Shelby Road now all the way to Wichita Street. That project is complete, and we're thankful that it's complete because it was desperately, desperately needed. One of the things we're currently working on right now is finishing up the engineering that's required for a signal light at that intersection where the McDonald's is. This has been, you may recall, we talked about this at our last meeting, and I had hopes that we were going to get this done before school was out. Well, let me tell you what happened. What had happened was, we actually have a new development that is coming in south of there within the city of Fort Worth that they want to partner and work on this intersection. So when you throw another person in the mix, things tend to kind of slow down a little bit. But now we're working on not just putting a signalization at this intersection, we're working on trying to improve the intersection based off the impact that this potential development may have. So I'm not a fan. If you've been around Everman long enough, you'll know Everman has a history. One of the things I always joke about is we used to go through and we would repave a road, and then 2 months later we'd go back and dig it up to do a water line underneath it. Council was frustrated with that. I was frustrated with that. So we all agreed we don't do that anymore. We don't do what we call throwaway infrastructure projects. It wouldn't make sense for us to come through and allocate almost $500,000, because that's how much one of these span wire traffic lights cost to install, $500,000. It doesn't make sense for us to come in and spend $500,000 on a temporary traffic signal just to come back a few months later and replace it and tear it out and replace it with a $2 million traffic signal. So it has been slightly delayed, but there is a very good reason for that, because what we want to provide is the best quality project at the end of the day. One of the things that we hear all the time, and we hear it on social media, is fix the streets. I think that's probably the number one complaint that I get all the time, and typically it's through Facebook. We get Facebook comments all the time that say fix the streets. People love to say it on Facebook. I just want to point out that's not helpful, and it doesn't help us move forward. What we need to be able to move this forward is we need specifics. We need help. We need partnership with our community. We know the streets have been a problem. We understand that. And I'm going to show you what we've been doing to try to resolve that problem here in just a second. But we need good problems. Just saying fix the streets doesn't help us. So I want to go over with you some of the projects. By the end of this year, these are all the streets within the last 5 years that would have been touched, rebuilt, repaved, or done. That's a pretty large amount. As a matter of fact, it's over $40 million worth of streets right here that you're looking at that's been invested into our community. And I'm very thankful for the partnerships that we've been able to make, because we haven't paid $40 million for these streets, and we couldn't afford to pay $40 million for these streets. But these are the streets by the end of the year that would have been touched. Wichita and Forest Hill Drive are currently underway in an engineering phase, getting ready to be redone. In addition to that, we have Roy C. Brooks, the remaining portion of Enon, and then Fort Worth is currently evaluating Shelby Road for us, that are all getting ready to be researched and hopefully move forward into a proposal stage. If you look at all three of these maps, there's a little bit of a pattern here, and there truly is a method to the madness. And when you combine all three of them, you realize that the city of Everman's focus has been on arterial streets, the things that feed the city. Before we can come inside the city and start fixing all the smaller streets, we have to fix the accessibility into our neighborhoods, because we get money from a good local economy to go back into the streets. So if we don't fix the arterials and we just focus solely on small residential neighborhoods that only impact maybe a couple hundred people versus the larger arterials that impact more than 100,000 people a day, because we have more than 100,000 cars a day that travel on Forest Hill Drive and on Everman Parkway. If we don't focus on those streets first, we are doomed to fail, and there's no way to get around it. So there truly is a method to the madness. The Facebook comments about fix the streets, I promise you we are. We're working on it. We're working really hard, and we are really close to completing all of our arterials within a 6-year, 7-year period, which is pretty amazing for a city our size to be able to accomplish. So we are working on that. Once we've accomplished those goals, then we go in and we start focusing on the smaller neighborhood markets, because we're able to build the economy that the city needs to fund those sources better. So there truly is a method to our madness. And I do look forward to the day where everybody can feel like Ramon. And I don't know if you know who Ramon is, but if you watch Cars.
Mama ain't seen you that low in years. I haven't seen a road like this in years. Well, then let's cruise, baby. Low and slow.
So that's the goal, right? That's what we're trying to get, low and slow. That is the goal. And so I promise you, streets is absolutely a focus of ours. It's something that we are constantly working on. We're very thankful for the partnerships that we have at the county and at COG to be able to make that a reality. Some of the other developments that have recently been worked on is Legends of Hannah Ranch. And we've talked about this one now for, this started maybe 6 or 7 years ago is when the conversation started. And I'm happy to tell you that there's like one house left in that development, and it's done. We are at the end of this project. We have several new residents within our community that are living over there, and they did a beautiful job within that neighborhood. They added several different amenities, including a pond that kind of provides a little bit of a nature retreat for our residents over there, as well as a dog park. Walkability throughout the entire neighborhood is great. So it's a beautiful new neighborhood that is providing a great economic source for the city, and we're excited to have that here. And it's the first residential neighborhood, new neighborhood that we've had in decades. So it's provided the first population growth that the city, true population growth that the city has seen in a very long time. So we're very thankful for that. The overall project included 202 new homes over there. And it's nearly complete currently, and they did a good job on it. So I'm very, very thankful to them for working with us. The next project that we're working on is Timberview Farmstead. If you have not been by Timberview Farmstead, it's on the property that used to be the Timberview Golf Course, you've got to go by and visit them. I promise you, just go pop in. They're the greatest people in the world. They'll be glad to tell you what it is that they do. But they do a lot of different things, everything from a business side to an educational side to a nonprofit side. They focus a lot on trying to bring our youth back to agricultural grassroots and provide educational opportunities and outdoor opportunities for our youth. They are a great partner to the city. We are excited about the opportunity of bringing them into the city to partner with them, and we're working on that currently. And hopeful that we can make that a reality. So this will be the first time that the city of Everman has annexed any land in also several decades, marking the first time that the city has actually physically grown in a long period of time. But go by and pay them a visit. Take a look at what they do. Become a partner if you can. Your family would love it. I guarantee you there's great opportunities. They do programs out there, not just for youth, but for adults. For seniors, all kinds of things. They've got a phenomenal Facebook page if you want to go by and like their page. They're a great organization. We've had several new businesses open up this past year. Our restaurant business here in the city tends to be booming right now. We've had quite a bit of success here in the restaurant industry. Sorry, Ricky, we're providing you some competition here, but Chicken Chill, brand new restaurant here on Everman Parkway, just opened up. They remodeled what used to be a long time ago the old Dairy Queen, and then it turned into I can't remember what that chicken place was. Chicken and Chinese food for a while. Golden Brown, thank you. Golden Brown Chicken had chicken and Chinese food, and And now it is Chicken Chill. And let me tell you, a day like today is a good place to go buy Chicken Chill because they've got great chicken opportunities for you, and then they've got phenomenal snow cone opportunities for you too. So if you're looking for a cold treat, another good place to go buy. Ricky's here, so I got to give a plug for Oasis as well. Cold treats, both locations, great. Support our local businesses 100%. One of the other new businesses that opened up here in the city of Everman was actually McDonald's, which I'm sure everybody knows about, but we have a brand new McDonald's here within the city. This is great in the fact that it is the first national and / international chain that has expressed any interest in coming back to this community in several decades. So we were excited to be able to see that Everman is getting back in the spotlight of interest among chain-style restaurants, as that provides a great economic opportunity for the city. Everman Liquor Store just opened up over off Forest Hill Drive. We were glad to be able to celebrate their grand opening. And then immediately next door to them, in that same shopping center, is On the Patio Restaurant. And we are just days away from being able to celebrate a ribbon cutting and grand opening at their business. They are just waiting on the state to give them the thumbs up. As soon as they get the thumbs up, we're ready to go. And they did a beautiful job on that building and facility. It's a sit-down, dine-in restaurant that'll provide some amazing opportunities for you. They have a sister restaurant located in Azle, offering American-style food, burgers, those kinds of things. So it's going to be a great opportunity to introduce something a little bit different back into Everman. I do want to talk about supporting local businesses, and I know we talk about this a lot, and it's not just a plug because Ricky's here, I promise, from Oasis, but it is important to support our local businesses as much as possible. What I don't think most people realize is that truly 2 cents of every dollar you go and spend locally comes right here, and that's what supports us to be able to fix streets and potholes and fund fire trucks and police officers and water department staff and public works staff and improve our parks. 2 cents of every dollar. That's not a lot. So we need a lot of dollars, a ton of dollars. Every opportunity you get to spend your dollars local, we truly try to push for that because you're supporting local economy. If you live in Everman and you choose to go to Burleson or Crowley or Fort Worth and spend those dollars, when you have that opportunity here in Everman to spend those dollars, you're giving that money to a whole other city, and we're not going to see that reinvested back here. We understand not every opportunity is going to be here in Everman. There's not a Walmart up the street. We know that. But we do like to support our local businesses for that aspect, and because our local businesses, the overwhelming majority of our local businesses are all local people. They're people who live here. They're people who are raising their families here, and we want to support their business and their investment back into this community. Some other things that we've worked on or are working on currently is we have a community development corporation that just launched a community development strategic plan. So what we're trying to do is work with our local business partners and our community to develop a strategic plan on where to invest dollars to see the best results back within the community. So keep your eye, make sure you're following our Facebook page, our website, because there are going to be opportunities in the future for you to be able to weigh in on that strategic plan, and we want your input there. We also have a brand new website. It's a great website. If you haven't been to it, it's a great opportunity to go on the website. It's easy to navigate compared to the old one. The old one was just garbage, I'll just be honest with you. It was very difficult to manage. Not only was it difficult to manage, it was difficult to update if you ever had to put some information out. This one's much easier for staff to update, so we're able to push information out a lot faster and a lot easier. And it's a great tool for you to be able to use as far as the city goes. Probably a better tool for younger generations, if you're always on the go and you want something on your phone, is our mobile app. We actually have a mobile app now. You can scan this QR code and put it on your phone. The mobile app gives you a great piece of power in your hand. When you see that pothole and you're upset at the streets, instead of going on Facebook and saying fix the streets, you can take a picture of that pothole and submit it through the report of problem, and it goes straight over there to that guy Rudy, and it gets put on a list for him to go out and address, so it actually gets fixed. Not just putting a Facebook comment on the Facebook saying fix the streets, and we have no idea what street you want us to fix, and there's 26 miles of roadway around here, so we're not going to guess. It's very helpful. You can also report things like signage issues, code compliance complaints, whatever your problem is, you can report it directly through that app, and it'll go directly to the department that's responsible for it and get addressed, because it goes on a tracking list that I get to drive the directors nuts over. When I see one's been sitting there for a couple weeks and nobody's touched it, I get to call that director and be like, hey, why aren't you taking care of this? And they jump right on it. So it assures that your complaint is going to get handled. It's a great tool. You don't have to use the app to use this tool. We do have that problem available, or that feature available on our website as well. You can go to report a problem. Most people just prefer to use their phone because they can take a picture of the problem right there with their phone and submit it, and it gives us a great tracking ability. The better part is you also get an email when that problem is fixed. So if you submitted a problem, when that pothole gets fixed, you're going to get an email back saying, hey, we took care of that pothole for you. Last year we launched a new online permitting portal, so now we have the ability to process permits without you having to come down to City Hall and wait to talk to a permit technician or wait to talk to somebody or get some guidance. Everything is available online for you. It's a great tool to be able to use and walk you through that. Most people don't know this, so I try to push this as much as I can, but we have a swag store. If you like what I'm wearing or what some of the staff is wearing around here, you can buy it yourself. And you can go to our online store. You can buy all kinds of cool stuff, from backpacks to water jugs, T-shirts, polos, all kinds of different logos available on there to be able to represent Everman. And the best part about it is for, I think, about 10 or 15% of what you buy on there actually goes right into our parks and events funds for us. So the more that we sell through there, the more events and activities we can do within Parks and Recs. And that was the purpose of it, was to try to support that and provide a fundraising opportunity. So speaking of great events, we've got the biggest one of the year happening this weekend, and that is Celebrate America Fest. If you've noticed the big circus tent out here, that's exactly what that's for. That is in Chief Whiteley's lap right there. He has done a phenomenal job of trying to plan a great event this year. We have more than 80 vendors total that have signed up. 20 different food truck opportunities will be here for you. There's a craft sale that starts here inside the Civic Center that day at noon, so you can come through in the air conditioning, enjoy some great shopping. The bar opens up outside at 2, so if you need a cool refreshment, or if you prefer non-alcoholic, they've got that too. They've got both. And then we'll have live music that hits the stage right at 7:30? Yeah, 7. That you can go outside and enjoy. Water Park City will be out there. Lots of games and activities and things to do. Enjoy the live music until the sun goes down. And then at 9:30 or 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock on the dot. Largest fireworks display south of I-20. Oh, best fireworks display. Best fireworks. Got to make sure it's all in the words. All in the words. So bring your family out. It's completely free. We don't charge for admission and any of this stuff. I do want to make sure I give credit to Chief Sanders. For you longtime Everman residents, there used to be what was it called, Everman Fest or? Fun Fest. And it just kind of died and went away. And while I was a lieutenant with the fire department, Chief Sanders actually brought this event back and said, I really want to see us bring this event back. And it started small. It started in the parking lot of Pittman Park, and we grew it for several years, and it's just grown and grown and grown. Every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And our CDC approved funding last year for a brand new stage out here, so now we don't have to rent a stage anymore. We've got a brand new stage out here to enjoy this festival at. I do want to encourage everybody to stay connected. Please make sure that you bookmark our website. Go visit our website. We post news on there all the time. Great resources for you. Same thing on our Facebook. And we've got several Facebooks. Don't just go to the city Facebook and like it. You've got to like and follow the city Facebook, the Everman Emergency Services Facebook, the Municipal Animal Services Facebook, and the Community Development Facebook. You've got to follow all of them. If you want to stay up to date, you just got to go in there and follow all of them. Make sure that you don't just like it, you follow it so that you get notified every time that there's a new post. And another little quick animal services plug for you, Ray. Even if you can't adopt a dog, sharing that information out there is great. Just getting the dogs shared and put out in front of people is very helpful. So that's another free way that you can help without having to leave your air conditioning at home or leave your couch right there. That would be tremendously helpful, is just sharing and networking those dogs out. YouTube, we have a City of Everman YouTube channel. Make sure you go like and follow it. We broadcast every single one of our city council meetings onto YouTube. Events like tonight, we're live on YouTube right now. We have some people watching. It also gives people a great opportunity because it's 6 o'clock. Some people may be on their way home. They couldn't get here. Well, they can pull it up and watch it after the fact when they get home and still stay up to speed. So you can always go back and watch previous videos as well. It's a great resource. And then, of course, that City Guide app. And that's all I've got for you now. So we'll break. I'll be back here in the far back. If you guys want to come to any table you want, you're more than welcome to visit with all of us. We'll be happy to visit with you and look forward to hearing your thoughts as we go into this next year's budget. Thank you all so much. I'll leave this up here too. If you don't have our app, make sure you scan that QR code and get it for us. Good timing, by the way. You're